and that you're being recorded. Yeah,
Oh,
there it
thank
goes.
you. Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Oh, and I ditched the old big ass headphones.
The
Got the old
cans.
AirPods going today. You know what I mean? Looking
Dude,
tight.
how do you like those? I meant to ask you that.
I
I
love
feel
them
like those
well.
things, they look annoying as shit.
They're lovely.
I feel like they would pop
Nah,
out of your
man,
ear.
they're amazing. I run. Nope, nope. They've popped out a couple times when I'm running, or not when I'm running, when I'm doing like crazy workouts. Which, as you can see, I'm fit as a fiddle. So, I mean, it happens on the daily. But no, they've popped out a couple times, but not really at all. I love them. I wear them in the. You know what I like doing? I like putting my mask on when I'm going to the store. You know, on a diaper run or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have my mask on, have my hat down real low, have my
Yeah.
sunglasses on the days that it's sunny and not snowing in the middle of May, and then I have my AirPods in. Don't even turn them on, but lets people know that I don't want to talk to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I
Perfect.
mean, the one thing the pandemic you can say, it keeps you from having small talk with people you don't want to have.
So man, yeah, that's for damn sure. All right. Speaking of small talk, let's get into it. As you can see today, I decided to have a sponsor today for today's show for the 5 people that watch the show, and including me and you being 2 of them. And
Exactly.
probably, I don't even know if your wife
My
watches it.
mom.
I don't think mine does either. Your mom does?
No.
Okay. Hi.
Yeah, my mom
Oh.
probably. Yeah. Hey, Mom.
So we got the old stay at home shirt, fashioned out of the Home Alone little logo there. It's at thecoolparents.com. So go check it out, Chad. Thecoolparents.com. So there's a whole coronavirus collection that proceeds go to coronavirus relief efforts and stuff like that. So cool stuff there.
Coronavirus.
Yeah, get it out of there. Oh, I just lost your face.
I'm here.
There you go. You're back. I don't want to lose that face.
I don't know.
It's the moneymaker. That's
Special.
what gets us the sponsors. Um. All right, so let's just go right to the the UFC real quick. Let's wrap up this 249. So there's a couple of fights I don't even care about. We'll skip right over, honestly.
Yeah.
The one early prelim that was pretty freaking sick was Bryce Mitchell against Charles Rosa. That
Yeah.
one, that kid put on just a freaking grappling clinic, and it was just impressive. I usually don't like the rolling around and doing all that stuff, the dry humping type of fights.
Right.
I like a little fisticuffs, but that stuff was impressive, man. That kid was just I mean, he was against another black belt who
Yeah.
talked shit and said he was going to take that kid's arm. Like, if you're going to say you're going to take somebody's arm and you're going to out grapple them, you can't get worked on the ground like that. That was
No, he got
bad.
it.
I mean,
No,
that was
Mitchell was
impressive.
impressive on that. I watched that after the fact. I missed it live. I had to go back and watch that, and I
Oh,
missed
really?
the one knockout on the prelims that was nasty too.
Oh, really?
That Luke and Price.
Yeah, where his eye was like banged
Yeah.
up.
Yep.
That was bad. So that's the only thing on the early fights that I really wanted to cover, and then obviously going to Alexei Olenek against Fabricio Verdum. At this point, I mean, I think we said this before the fight, but can we just please stop talking about Fabricio Verdum? Fabricio Verdum is one of the best heavyweights ever. Can we just put that to bed?
Yeah,
Do you think
especially
so?
because he popped. Yeah, no, definitely.
That and
It's just because
he
he
comes
beat
back.
he beat the unbeatable Kane, and that's why they threw him right into it. And plus, he had a bunch of wins before that. But since the Kane win, he's done absolutely nothing on top of popping for SPDs. And then I honestly thought he was going to get knocked out in the fight. I can't believe it actually went to a decision.
Well, and then he comes back and looks like a hot pile of garbage. Like he just didn't want to be there. He just looked like he didn't want to be there.
Yeah.
Like, what did he do for that 2 years? Like, you just thought he was going to roll up in there, and I don't know. It was not impressive, and I mean, I never was impressed with him, anyways. As I said before the fight, and I don't know how that was a split decision, but whatever. I think especially since he had him mounted. If Verdum had him mounted more than once, and he got out of it.
Yep.
Like Olenek just he didn't look like the better fighter. He just looked like he wanted it. He wanted to win. He wanted to be there. Verdum just looked like a hot pile of garbage. So that's all I really care about talking about that fight.
For sure.
Now on to one of the other ones that we that kind of hurt my feelings. Pettis and Cowboy.
Yeah.
I think judging in MMA is we've been over this and back in every freaking event. There's at least one or two fights on the card that really show how awful judging is. And I'm not saying Cowboy got robbed. Like I just thought he won the fight. I know there's a lot of people. I think pretty sure you thought he won the fight, right?
Yeah, 100%.
It's the 10-9.
I think they were surprised if you saw their faces.
Yeah.
Pettis looked like,
Pettis,
all right, I'll take it.
Yeah.
And then Cerrone was baffled. I think.
I really think.
I keep hearing the same thing over and over from people who thought Pettis won. Pettis looked like the harder hitter, but I don't know that always translates to a win. I mean,
I honestly, because you texted me right when it was going on, because we can't watch the fights together, because social distancing, all that lovely stuff. And you're like, how did he win that fight? And I told you right then, and I still think it holds true. When he got poked in the eye, like he was hurt and it looked like he was damaged. When the referee says it wasn't a poke and says it was a punch, that looks like the most damaging part of the fight. That's what I think. I think it was a close fight, but I think he looked like he got damaged. But this is one of those points where if you have Florida has the unified rules, the new unified rules, so they could have used replay and seen if that was a poke. That would have kind of made a difference. You know what I mean? I think in the eyes of the judges.
Big time.
So, I mean, I don't know. And you could hear them talking after the fight. He's like, Pettis is like, no, I didn't poke you. He's like, I'll bet you $100 you poked me. Or it was like Pettis said, I'll give you $100 if I poked you. And dude, it was clear as day he poked him, and it really affected Cerrone. And if the referee's saying nope, not a that's gonna, I mean, that's the most damaging strike of the fight. But it wasn't really a strike, but in the eyes of the judges it is, and that's what sucks. I think that's what won him the fight.
Yeah.
So
they're counting that as damage. Yeah.
Right. I mean, they were both back and forth. 4
losses in a row now.
Yeah. Where's he going? Where's he going?
His name is only going to get him fights at this point, and I think we discussed it a little bit on the previous podcast. Was that he really kind of had to win if he still thinks he has any kind of shot at a last title shot, which is really slim to none before this fight. Now he's climbing uphill even worse. I think Pettis looked pretty good. He definitely looks like a little more soggy in the midsection for like Pettis. Like when you see Pettis, you don't expect to see that. So I didn't know if he was gonna gas out at all. But I thought he fought really well. I just thought that overall the flurries were on Cerrone's side, aside from a few flurries from Pettis. But I thought that Pettis, you take away the eye poke, the better shots were landed by Cerrone. That flush shin to the head, I don't know how that didn't knock out Pettis. All the credit to the world for that one. That's usually Cerrone's calling card to put a dude out.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It was definitely a close fight, but I had 100% all the faith in the world that Cerrone had won a decision. So I was shocked and bummed, obviously, because I have a horse in the race there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a shame. I just don't know where he goes from here. I really don't. I mean, maybe his only saving grace was technically a middleweight or a welterweight fight. Right. They're both lightweights, but I mean, does it hurt him in the rankings for lightweight? Even though, I mean, because the 170, so who knows? I mean, maybe put him in there with I don't know. He's 12th. He's 12th now. He did, so it did hurt him. He's 12th now. He dropped 6 in the lightweight rankings. Dropped 6 spots. So I don't know. He's fought everyone here, I think, hasn't he? I mean, who are you going to fight him against?
And maybe he gets another shot at Dos Anjos, and he's 0 for 2 against him. He's gotten his ass whooped pretty hard by him. Maybe he Maybe he gets
He's
that
Dos
last fight.
Santos is welterweight now. He's
Oh,
ninth in welterweight. Maybe Iaquinta, uh,
he's already fought him
Oliveira.
recently. He
He's
fought him
already
last
fought
year.
Oliveira. Paul Felder, although now Felder wants Ferguson. We'll talk about that later,
Right.
which I don't think that should happen. But
No.
you know what a good fight for him would be? It'd be a hard fight, but I don't think he has one coming. Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker's a beast. And if he
Here's
beats
on the
him,
up
if
though,
Cowboy
so
beats him, he'd be right back in there. Right, yeah. And he's fifth. He's ranked
yeah.
fifth.
And that's a good fight
So
for Hooker just in general, like in the name.
right, it's a name for Hooker. It's a great headliner for a fight night, you know?
Yeah, because Hooker wanted, if I'm not mistaken, Hooker wanted Gaethje, didn't he? And
Yeah, I
someone
think so,
else.
yeah.
He wanted someone else too. And I don't think Hooker had enough of a name to get that fight.
Maybe Poirier. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go to the main card. Now, right off, I don't know why. I mean, I know why, but he doesn't deserve to be on the freaking pay-per-view. Greg Hardy. I mean, it's ridiculous. They're feeding him these guys. This guy was beat. I think he won the first round. De Castro.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he broke his foot, but it looked like it looked to me. It looked like the fix was in. I mean, you broke your foot, but god damn it, you can throw your fist, can't you? Like, what are you doing?
It
You
was
just
so
sat
weird when
there,
he was like
didn't do
running
anything.
away. So weird. He's like,
I just don't.
Greg Hardy was like begging him to fight.
It was so annoying. And he gets another win for what? I don't know. They just feed him to the Sharks. You know what? Feed him to Rosenstrike. Let Rosenstrike come back and fight him. That's what I want to see, right there.
I'm not sure if Rosenstrike has woke up yet.
I don't think he's fighting for a while. I think he's.
I really think Greg Hardy's like, they're doing the right thing with him in the sense that they're, like you said, they're kind of like feeding him easy fighters. But when he gets to like I said before, if he gets to the Derek Lewis's of the world, we might find out real quick how tough he is. But I mean, the longer that he keeps getting these easy ass wins, I mean, it's just we're delaying the inevitable here. And if he's gonna be on the fifth best fight, he's got to fight someone who's got a name. I mean, that shit. His name is not enough to be on a prelim. I don't give a shit who he was in the NFL.
On a pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's obnoxious. And then anybody who doesn't like him, you want to see him get knocked out, but he's not going to get knocked out by the guys that they're setting him up against. So,
no.
If you want to please the UFC fans, give him a good fighter.
This isn't boxing. Like look at any of these guys. Look at Anderson when he came in. Chris Lieben right off the bat. And then he's in 2 or 3 fights, he's fighting Rich Franklin for the belt. Look at Stylebender. 3 fights in, he's fighting for the belt.
Right.
Hardy, this is his 6th fight, and he's fought no one.
Yeah.
In a division where there's not a lot of guys. It's not a deep division. Outside of the top 10, I don't know, who do we have? So they're like finding guys for him to fight, and it's so annoying. Like, make him fight somebody. This isn't boxing. This isn't where you you pad somebody's record to make him look bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, he's got to fight someone big. I'm hoping next fight's got to be up
especially
there.
if he's gonna be on pay-per-view, man.
Right, exactly.
Or just don't put him on pay-per-view. Put him on the prelims, and then I don't care who he fights. But don't take a pay-per-view slot.
Yeah.
And give it to this idiot. I can't stand him. I can't stand him. Oh.
He'll get his hopefully one day, but
yeah, we've been waiting for it, but it's still they're just not giving him anyone. And props to him for stepping up, but he stepped up against what's his name, Volkov. But yeah. I mean, Volkov is not like a devastating, like scary, put you away type of guy. I mean, he's had his fights like that, but I mean, Alistair, Walt Harris, Derek Lewis Jr.,
right.
Give him one of these guys.
For sure.
Rosenstrike before he was, permanently laid to rest. All right. Before we get to that one, can we talk about Calvin Cater.
He's a stud, man.
Damn, that boy good.
Stevens was throwing fists too, man. He was throwing hard.
Yeah.
For a minute there, he looked like he was fighting the fight he wanted, and then Cater, to his credit, man, he kept his composure and he got a couple good looks in there, and then he smoked him in the second round, I think.
Yeah, second round. Well, this is the second fight in a row that he has really come out really slow. I'm talking about Cater. Like
Yep.
he doesn't come out fast. And that's why when people were saying Stevens is a fast starter, Cater is not. Like he's slow. But man, when he gets going, damn, that elbow was nasty.
That was nasty.
Put him down. Oh.
Then he had a nice little envelope slot in his upper right forehead after he got landed on the ground.
For sure. That was to help him lose the other 4.5 pounds that he didn't lose.
That's great too. I like that Cater was like, it pissed me off that he didn't make weight. That's a great thing to say after you knock the dude out, because technically, if you really look at it, the odds usually favor the guy who was overweight.
Right.
And if you look historically, usually the guy who's overweight usually wins the fight and, pays whatever 30% of his purse to the other fighter, but usually he gets the win. He doesn't really give a shit about that 30%.
Yeah. Right. Especially if he's getting a winning of the win bonus.
So Stevens gave up 30%. And then
but I mean, if he would have won and then it would have been okay, it was worth it to get the win.
Yep.
And then I'll give up 30% either way. But yeah, he gave up 30%. And I mean, Cater, who's he gonna fight next? That's a good.
He's moving on up, man. I think that's gonna be a title contender within the next.
He's at 7 now, so he moved up 2 spots. You got the whole thing is who Fight Island, I guess, is whenever they open that is when they're gonna have like international fighters. Because I'm looking at like, who's he gonna fight? Like you got Chan Sung Jung, he's at 4. Frankie Edgar is at 6. That wouldn't be a bad one for him.
No, I'd almost like to see a rematch.
I mean, it's not like
tight. That the one that he had was the beat last year.
I think it should be a 5-round. If they're gonna do that, make it a main event at a fight night.
Fight night, yeah.
5-round fight night fight. What's T City doing? Is he fighting the zombie? Is that coming?
He's supposed to, yeah, but he's hurt again.
T City is?
Yeah, didn't he pull out?
Yeah, but he just slapped the shit out of that Korean rapper or whatever.
That you could
didn't look hurt then.
Slap a little bitch boy like that.
That's funny. All right.
I loved that because it's the first time you've heard in a long time where a guy who talks a gang of shit online ends up getting physically slapped.
Well, and he said he was going to slap him too. Like you always hear guys say,
he called a shot.
Yeah, I like the only other people that I would think, and I'll guarantee you could finish my sentence. The only other fighters that I could see doing something like that would be the Diaz brothers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And they have, which is kind of funny.
Anytime they get in a hotel elevator with anyone they don't like, man, it's a wrap.
Yep, they're throwing chairs in the.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh. They're out of control, man. They're serious. I mean, hey, I guess the only other one might be Masvidal, but I don't like him. I think he's a whatever he is.
Are we thinking?
All right.
We're thinking though for Cater, we're thinking probably Frankie or Yair.
I like
Frankie because I don't think Yair.
I like Frankie. Because Volkanovski's going to fight Holloway again. If T City's going to fight the zombie, then you got Zabit, Yair, Frank, and those 4. We got to find matchups. I would say Frankie Edgar or Yair. Maybe Frankie Edgar against Zabit. Either one of those.
Man, it's a huge size difference, even though they're the same.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, he's just going to try and get him down, but we'll see about that. I don't know.
I don't think Frankie's got a lot of more fights left either.
Got a lot of mo.
Got a lot of mo. But yeah, Yair would be a cool matchup with Cater because they're like,
That
they're
was
both
the
definitely got
best.
strike. It's a little wild.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with that division when they're going to have Volkanovski against Holloway too.
Yeah, I haven't
Um,
heard anything about that.
Dana said this week that that's definitely the fight. Um, that's definitely going to be they're going to rematch that fight or run that one back. All right, then let's go to. I mean,
To the greatest boogeyman of all time.
dude, and here's the thing. Like when he did what he did to Alistair to get the first his title shot against Stipe,
Yeah,
I thought like I'm like God, he's scary, And then he gets the shot against Stipe and he doesn't put him out. He goes 5 rounds, doesn't put him out, and then he had the debacle with the Beast with Derek Lewis, and then I thought, what the hell is going on with him? Like he was in his head. I didn't know what I thought he was done. After
yeah,
that, after he lost to Stipe, I thought that was it for him. He was done because the performance against Derek Lewis was unacceptable on both sides, and I love Derek Lewis.
right.
Um, but then he comes back against Kane, against Junior, and now Rosenstrike. I mean, you have that's the thing in the heavyweight division. You have three wins in a row is big.
Right.
3 knockouts like that. I mean, what are you doing?
Yeah, I don't see anybody beating him at heavyweight at this point.
It
Not even
was.
Stipe, especially because he's not training.
I think, and I know you're gonna hate this because you're gonna call me a homer. Um, but I think the only one that has a chance is DC because DC is not gonna stand there with him. He's just gonna try and take him down. Stipe is willing to stand there with you, and
Right.
that's what he does. He boxes like he has a little bit of a wrestling background, but he wants to box you, and he's very good at it.
Right.
But I don't. If I'm any heavyweight in the world like DC, you could tell he doesn't want to fight him. Like he said, he's
No.
willing to, but he doesn't want to. But I don't think like the thing about Rosenstrike is he's a kickboxer, right? And what do kickboxers do? They don't, they're not bobbing even. Should have been they're used to just sitting like this and this is their defense. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
this is the kickboxer's defense. He just went straight back. Like he, you're not even trying to move out of the way. Like he was doing the lean back, but good lord. And then but at the same time, Francis just rushing in like that. Did you see that? Did you
Yeah.
think that was
No.
gonna happen?
No, not at all. And what's hilarious is that the first two punches, if they landed, Rosenstrike might have died on that second punch, the left
Yeah,
hook. He might have
yeah.
died if that one connected because the punch that actually knocked him out wasn't even half as hard as the second punch he threw. That reeling left hook that he threw. That shit missed by like he did the Matrix. Rosenstrike did the Matrix,
Right.
missed it,
Yeah.
and oh my god, man, he went out cold. And then I love how Taz
Have you
came out and
ever
said,
right?
I I uh I don't like when guys talk and called me out, so I had to make him pay for that.
He said he had to Google him. He had to Google him to see who he was.
It's such a great. It's so amazing when dudes are like, I don't like when you talk shit, so I
Oh,
knocked you out cold. Yeah,
he's
he's the
got.
scariest
He said
human
he's
being
got to
in the
learn.
fucking world. He's the scariest human
Have
being.
you ever, have you ever heard since Tyson's heyday? Like, can you remember anyone that's that scary?
No, I mean Brock had like a little bit of a same kind of charisma in that sense, like because he's just such a massive person in terms of heavyweight, and
Yeah,
being a diehard Frank Mir fan, you can attest to this. Like every time when it was UFC 100, right? When he fought Mir for the second time,
a rematch.
I was never more terrified for one of my favorite fighters than that fight. And then he pounded the shit out of him.
Yeah,
But no, I mean, but even then,
but
imagine
like
him
one
fighting
punch,
Brock.
one touch you, like and it's night. I
No,
can't think of anyone.
nope.
It's crazy, and it's like over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, And it's impossible. Like it's really hard to get to critique Francis, but the way he's rushing in, chin just up in the air
Wide
and just
open.
winging, like you can't tell me like he fights Stipe, he fights DC, or even the one thing that I've heard, and I actually heard it from Shab today when I was listening to his podcast. He was saying he could see Stipe against DC3 to finish that trilogy, and both of them retire. John Jones comes up to heavyweight to fight Francis for the vacant belt, and he was like, "You think about it, he tries that against John. John's not going to be there,
Yeah, he won't. Yeah, he won't be waiting to get rushed.
right? He's just going to sidestep it, and you know what I mean. And he's long enough to not let that happen. Same thing with DC. He's not going to be there. He's going to be underneath and picking at your ankles. You know."
Yeah, I mean, at least Cormier has the ability to stand in there with a heavier guy. I don't see John Jones standing with a Ngannou. He better put 30 pounds of muscle on.
He just tweeted out today. Did you see any of his tweets today?
Jones, I didn't.
Yeah,
Was it about just saying that he'd fight Reyes, but he'd have to get a nice payday?
Yeah, that's the one he said. He said,
I read that.
yeah. He also said that he wants to fight somebody at catch weight at 220 to warm up to fighting heavyweight. Let me look it up to make sure I have it. And then who wants to take the knockout is what he said. I believe. Let me just get this. Make sure I get this right. Unless he already deleted it, which. I'd love to have an exhibition fight at the catch weight of 220, 220 pounds before moving up to heavyweight. Who wants to take that out?
I mean, at least he's trying to be active. I mean, the guy's fun to watch, even if you don't want him to win.
When they said, why don't we give Reyes a rematch? I'd love to fight him again. I'm just waiting for the UFC to make the reward worth the risk. Unless the organization treat it like a super fight, I might as well stay on schedule fighting the next guy in line. He wants to fight Blachowicz. Yeah, because it's just an easy W for him.
Yep. No, he'll pick him apart, man. It would be a kind of a boring fight. I'd still love to see Santos come back and get another shot, and Reyes, I think, deserves a shot. But
right before he goes to heavyweight, because now there's actually some people in the division that have
Smith could get another shot down the road here if he
right,
wins.
depending how he does tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's a big fight for him. Anyway, so then what does Francis do? He has to wait for the title, right? But if Stipe can't fight for, say Stipe can't fight for, he already said he can't do August. So what's he going to wait till September, October, November, maybe? Then even I was watching Francis in the post fight. He said then he's going to take a 3-month holiday. Then he's going to train again. I'm looking at another year off before I fight again. I don't want this. He might have to wait that because who in the right mind is going to fucking want to fight him?
Yeah, I mean, unless Cormier steps up to fight him, I don't think. The only other thing that sucks too is that this to me is a perfect example of when you would actually use an interim belt.
Right.
This is a perfect example, but it's so weird because now they're not even talking about interim belt, but they
said no.
They're giving out interim belts like hotcakes every other division.
Giving them away, taking them away.
The entire purpose of the belt is for a situation like this, because nobody's gonna shit on Stipe for doing what he's doing. The guy's a fucking firefighter, doing things out there for people that not many UFC fighters are doing, and he's getting his priorities straight. And I also think that I don't think his eye is 100%. That injury, I can't remember if that injury was from the eye poke with Cormier in the first fight.
You said the second fight, yeah.
Oh, it was the second fight?
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
So,
I believe.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's waiting for that to get better too, because he doesn't want to go in there against a fucking savage again like Ngannou with a half an eye. That would be suicide at that point.
Right.
But I don't even know that if Stipe did have a full camp, how he'd fare right now, because Ngannou looks unstoppable. It's not like
But
he's knocking out Gray
he did
Harley fucking
against
opponents either.
yeah, but he did against the first time he fought him. Like that's coming off of what he did to Alistair. You know what I
Right.
mean?
That was just once though. I mean, like he's put together.
Yeah, but before that fight, he had a couple of scary ones. He had oh Jesus, what's his name? Arlovsky, where he starched him inside of one round. Who I mean, everyone does now, but
Right.
um, who else did he have before Stipe? Arlovsky, then Alistair. Before that, it was some Hamilton. It was a minute 56.
Yeah.
Um, he beat Blades in the second round.
Which I'm surprised because he could not handle wrestlers, but he's beat Blades twice. It's kind of funny. I'm just saying. I think the last 3 wins he's put together.
I forgot that's the one last 4 because he beat Blades in that 4 too after Lewis.
Yeah.
So all first round knockouts.
Yeah, I just think that this is his best wave of fights in terms of competition, how he's put them away.
And he's not taking any damage.
Well,
he literally
also in the losses that he had, because he lost to Lewis, right? I mean, that wasn't much, but
yeah. I mean, it was a 10 total strikes I think thrown, but
yeah,
he lost
his ass out for being a diva, being tough to deal with. He got absolutely worked, at least cardio wise, against Stipe. So I think that and a little bit of humble pie from Dana White in the loss to Derek Lewis, I think, and now he's put together just a string of amazing, couldn't be better performances against good fighters. I think he's in the best place he's ever been, and he just basically reignited his terrifying fucking enigma that he has.
Yeah, his stock is like all-time high.
It just sucks. There's not enough guys out there, man.
Right.
That's the only negative of the whole thing. It'll be interesting to see if he has to fight, fucking Lewis again or somebody that's, worthy of a name. But I don't know. I don't know if he would put himself in any kind of position to lose his title shot.
There's no one there. So he's 2. You got Blades. He already beat him. Dos Santos already beat him. Derek Lewis. Maybe that's who he fights. Yeah. Then you got Rosenstrike. How does Rosenstrike not fall? I mean,
yeah, because that's how bad the fucking division is.
Yeah, Volkov, Overeem. He literally made him look at his own heels. Walt Harris. I mean, and I love it.
Did Rogan and Schaub say that?
You look like a Pez dispenser.
Alistair's back of Alistair's head hit his butt. So shit like that.
I don't know. He said he looked like a Pez dispenser.
Yeah, he really did. That was crazy.
That's scary. I didn't like that at all.
I would say the next fight that we got to talk about is definitely the one I did not expect to be interesting at all, and it ended up being a pretty darn good fight.
It's not you're not talking about Cejudo Cruz?
Yeah.
Skipping over that one?
I am talking about that one. I didn't think.
Oh, you are talking about that one.
Yeah, sorry. I thought that fight was not going to be interesting at all. That was going to be a lot of dancing around, a lot of bullshit. It was actually. I came away with, as annoying as Cejudo is, I came away with a little more respect in the sense that he was really getting after Cruz,
Yeah, I think originally I thought his retirement talk was all bullshit. It was just trying to get more money. But supposedly he's been saying it for a while.
Oh yeah,
like he's been talking about it for a while. Like Schaub said he had him on the Food Truck Diaries, and off camera he's saying, "Man, I'm done. I'm just done with this. It's not worth the money they're giving me." And he knows they're not. He's a featherweight or a bantamweight. They're not going to give him more. I mean, he just doesn't draw.
Mighty Mouse, man.
Right. So he might be done.
Best fighter out there, and the dude never got money.
Right. He might be done. I mean, and if he is, then I think the whole shtick is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that stoppage was pretty rough. I mean, it was a bad stoppage, I think.
Yeah.
He got
Cruz takes it so fucking far. It's like
saying he smelled like alcohol and cigarettes.
Yeah, I mean, you're calling the dude, you're like challenging the guy's fucking integrity, bro. It was, I think personally I would have liked him to keep it going, especially considering it's a title shot. And You know, he
That,
did look
especially
like
there
he
was
was
2 seconds
trying
left in the round.
that. Yeah, I mean, there was definitely, if I had to choose, they should have kept it going. But I mean, there he just berated his fucking character, bringing up shit that you don't talk about. Yeah, I know Jeremy Stevens carried him once up to the fucking up to his room. He was so hammered, and it's like, bro, it couldn't look more like sour fucking milk in his little sippy
Right.
cup. I don't know. It
Yeah.
just it reminded me of why I was never a fan of Cruz back in the day.
Right.
I
Right.
remember being like that with Faber all the time, and it used to bother the shit out of me. And he didn't
Yep.
bother me as much when he
Yeah, I
was doing.
thought when he's doing commentary, right?
Yeah, his analyst, because he's really smart and he knows what he's talking about, and he's well
Right.
spoken, and so he's actually a, you know, one of the guys I like listening to. But man, the guy's always bitching.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, dude, you got fucked up. It's not like it was like a eye poke in the end of the fight. Like, you got fucking kneed in
Oh
the
yeah.
face. You caught a nice.
Yeah, you were. They could have stopped it earlier. That's my thing. They could have stopped it earlier. I think he was late in coming in, and by the time he did come in, he was back too. Like he was coming too, but he was already there. You know what I mean? I think his reaction time was a little slow, and maybe it was the booze and cigarettes. Who knows? But I think that if they were going to stop it, they should have stopped it.
Yeah.
Like when he was silly. Like he was giving he had the ring face on when he got kneed. Like he was done. But then he came back and he was trying to get up, and that's when they stopped. I mean, I don't know, whatever.
I think landing on the ground woke him up.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's got to be so hard to be a ref in that situation, man, because all it takes is one or two extra punches, and you're in trouble for not letting, or for not keeping the fight.
Well, yeah. Look at
keeping the fighter safe. So
look at Jairzinho. I mean, he took about 3 more.
Yeah. Well, how the fuck are you gonna get dude?
Well, yeah, but dude, he is gonna be out for a while. Like he can't fight for a while.
Nah,
he's gonna be out for at least a year. He didn't know. He thought he was Batman. He was done.
I must have said "oh geez" like 7 times, and I was like, "oh geez, oh geez, oh geez."
I couldn't believe that. Like, I almost woke up all the girls when that happened. When he hit him and he went down like that. Oh, it's so scary, but it's like you can't. It's so weird. It's like watching something that you shouldn't watch, like, and you're gonna cringe.
Yeah.
But you're like, oh my god, I can't wait to see this happen. That's how I feel when I watch him fight. But yeah, I don't know if Cejudo's done. I mean, he already said that Petr Yan is going to have it. Maybe him against who are you putting him against? Sterling, Aljamain Sterling.
Yep.
For the title.
Yeah.
What about Jose Aldo? He was supposed to have it. Why isn't you know what I mean? I think he beat Marlon Moraes on that last fight, right? Yeah. Maybe him against. But who knows when he's going to be able to get out of Brazil? So
our Moraes.
Seriously, I don't know.
Does anyone have a fight scheduled there in the top 3?
I don't think anyone has this. Honestly, I don't think anything's really scheduled after this weekend, because they just said they're probably going to move the 23rd card to the 30th now. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if they know what's going on.
Is Cody still? Is he still scheduled, or is he back? Is that off?
I don't know. I don't know who's scheduled.
Honestly, guy in that division to if Cejudo stays out, the guy in that division to end up on the top is Yan.
Yeah, he looks like a.
He's a beast. I like Sandhagen too. He's fun to watch. And Aljamain is good. Moraes looks weird.
I love his camp.
He's like, what's that?
I just love his camp.
Which one? Sterling?
Matt Serra and Aljamain Sterling, yeah.
Yeah. No, they got some interesting dudes 2 through 4. I like all 3 of those guys. Sterling.
I love listening to. That's what I wish like they were one of their fighters was fighting, because listening to Matt Serra talking to his fighters, like when they do it.
Yeah,
When
he's great.
I'll never forget when Al Iaquinta was fighting Khabib, and they had that one of those parts where they show the corner, and
Yeah.
there's all of a sudden nothing, nobody's saying anything, and all of a sudden Matt Serra goes, "Fucking A Ray Janelle."
Fucking A.
Fucking A Ray Janelle with this long guy with an accent. Oh my god, sorry.
I fucking love
Oh,
it.
so anytime I see Iaquinta's name, that's all I think of. Fucking A Ray Janelle. Oh man. All right. Now I guess we go to the
I
one
couldn't have
that
been
hurt your
dead wrong about this.
um I don't I mean I believe I did say a little bit that what I said is he can't afford to take the punches, right? He
Yeah,
was taking the punches.
I know.
I mean, he was taking so many punches that I think it's I don't think I'm wrong in saying they could have thrown in the towel. Like he was
Yeah.
taking that much damage.
Well, and they did
Um,
throw in the Herb threw in the towel for him.
yeah, but I think I honestly I think it was a late stoppage. Um, I think it could have been stopped a lot earlier. That was bad, man. That was really bad. I've never. And what do you think it was? Was it the ridiculous weight cut 2 weeks ago that he did, or 3 weeks ago, whatever it was? I mean, why was he? He
I never.
wasn't himself.
I think I don't know if he was like fully prepared to fight him, and that's totally like
Three
bullshit
extra weeks.
out of my ass. Like, yeah, 3 weeks, but that shit will come up on you quick. I mean, he obviously had all the pressure on him too, because Gaethje was a man that stepped up to fight him. I don't know. I heard a little bit of rumblings about the preparation. That's not anyone's fault but him and his camp, because he had just as much time to prepare for Gaethje as Gaethje had to prepare for him. I just think that the pressure was on him. I also think he just did not pull the trigger enough. I think he was a little gun shy. Dude, when you hit him with that
End of the second round.
I swear to God, I was like, okay, here, this is it.
I think if he had
It's
10 more
over for
seconds in that
Gaethje
round, it
after
was
this.
over.
If that round would have continued, I still wonder what would have happened, because I think that was like about the only time in the entire 5 rounds where I was like, oh, okay, that's Tony. So
Yeah.
it was a very weird fight to watch. After, like, I'm definitely not necessarily a huge fan of Tony. Like, I don't root for him, but in terms of just overall opinion of his game, he's like upper echelon in my mind in terms of like one of the best fighters on the planet. So I was super shocked, and props to Gaethje all day. The guy fought like a fucking.
That was unbelievable. I would have never in a million years thought. I thought, and I said I thought he had a chance to win, but I thought it had to be early. Like I thought he was going to catch him early, like first round early. I didn't. The longer it went, and I really think Tony thought that too. That the longer it went, he was just going to gas out, and he just didn't. And it's not like he was. It's not like he was doing much to gas out. Like he was throwing hard,
Yeah.
but I mean,
Wasn't it funny though that Tony was still not gassing? Like,
yeah, no, he was fine.
I don't want to take anything away from Gaethje, but I still came away a little bit impressed with Tony on how much damage he could take.
Oh man,
If
well,
you
I
don't
don't
want a
know
guy
how
to
much
take that
more
much
you
damage.
can do that.
No, I don't either.
Like,
Not
and he's
ever.
already lost his mind once or twice or a couple times. I mean,
It's terrible.
yeah, I'm not trying to be funny. Like, he's taking a lot of trauma to the head. You know what I mean? And he's not like he doesn't shy away from it. That's why I thought that he could be in trouble against Gaethje. Because the funny thing is, he got dropped real quick. I mean, it was a real quick, like a flash knockout type of thing against Pettis.
Yeah.
In the first round. But he got right back up, but he got wobbled.
For sure.
And Gaethje was hitting him with hammers.
I know. Dude.
I mean, repeatedly. I don't know how he survived it. I mean, that's
It was a good fight.
unbelievable.
It was a good fight not to have a crowd too, because you could tell.
Oh, that probably made it worse.
I know it made it worse in the sense of graphic, but it also made it a little more realistic in the sense of holy shit, those are landing more flush than you'd think. Like,
Right.
a lot of times the crowd cheers for shit that doesn't really land.
Mm-hmm.
Even the commentators, as good as they are, sometimes Rogan's like, oh, and it's actually not that good of a punch. But there's no lying in terms of when the fist hits the fucking face with no crowd, man. And it was pretty crazy how many times he got clocked. It was crazy.
Yeah. Yep. It was
hope
intense.
Gaethje saved some for the fucking Khabib.
Well, so then, I mean, I guess we have to bring up Conor at this point, right? With his ridiculous rants, and then today again, he see you in July, and then super excited for the lightweight title bout in July. So
yeah, I didn't understand what that meant. If that was like he's excited to watch Khabib fight against Gaethje, or that meant he's trying to get into it.
I think he's trying to fight Gaethje.
Yeah, I mean,
I honestly think, right. But for him, who's it smarter to fight, Conor Cowboy or Gaethje?
Cowboy's a smarter fight.
Cowboy had a bigger name. It's an easier fight for him.
Yep.
I mean, it's the way to come back. It's like, I hate to say this about Cowboy, it's so disrespectful, but it's a tune-up fight for him, you know.
Yeah. Yep.
Whereas Gaethje is, you don't get as much credit if you beat Gaethje, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you could lose a lot of. I mean, if that's your first fight back and you get knocked out and you get starched, that loses a lot. So I understand why he didn't take that fight from a business perspective. But now, his Twitter rant, I should say, yesterday was epic. Did you see all the stuff that he said?
I did. I read all of it. It was. He always makes me chuckle. I mean,
golly.
I just don't understand how he can talk shit to Khabib, though. I love Conor, but I don't understand why he can. He should not have any business talking shit to Khabib. As much as I love Khabib, but
I love that he's talking about his manager. I love that too.
He got whoever it is. Fight, you know what I mean? Like,
he's still the only one to ever get a round off on him. I mean, that's not much, but it still is what it is. And he honestly thinks that he wasn't. For some reason, he wasn't prepared, and he didn't take it seriously.
Don't you think you should keep it at that, though? Just be like, look, you fucking got me. But
no, I think he's trying to goad him. I think he's trying to goad him into another fight.
Because he doesn't know how else he'll get the fight, probably, I guess.
Right. Yeah, I think he's trying to goad him into it.
Khabib will say, okay, I'll fight him. He's talking
to shut him up. Yeah. But at the same time, so who do you think, and I know you're probably not going to agree with me, but who do you think is a better matchup for Gaethje? If you're Gaethje right now and you have the choice between the two of them to wait for